You're gonna wear the hood?
I'm cold. I'm like freezing. My head.
I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Wait, hold on. Hi, I'm Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Beleaf Mel.
And we're here with episode 20 of How Married Are You? Are you gonna check the audio? We also didn't do it. And now we're here with Chocolate Baby Story Time.
Yeah. So how about you go first for the Chocolate Baby Story Time? Do you have any stories?
I'm trying to think. We already told the cutting hair story.
Mm-hmm. I have one.
Okay.
So proud of Uriah. Yesterday we were outside skating, and Theo mostly. But you really got to see the competitiveness between the two. On the video that just came out today, actually today.
Hopefully this video comes out today.
This podcast will come out today.
Okay.
Yeah. Theo was like, I mean, you know, they're learning how to skateboard. They got skateboards for Christmas. And they're on the skateboards, and Theo's like, I went longer. And I stayed on the whole way, and I didn't need help. Hop off when you're ready. Good job, buddy.
He didn't say other way.
He did.
Ow.
Stop trying to take it away from him. You got to be encouraging to your brother, not rude and discouraging. And Uriah needs a little bit of help. He's a little bit, I would say more dense and then like bottom heavy. Like he kind of leans back because his butt's so big and his, you know what I'm saying? Like he thicker. So he's trying to balance. Mm-hmm. And Theo is like, yo, I don't need help. And Uriah needs help, but he doesn't want help because his brother's saying that he doesn't need help. And he ended up falling so hard. It looked terrible. But he got back up every single time. And they had all the protective gear they could get. I think they need butt pads and a neck brace so it keeps that neck straight while they're doing their thing. But I was really proud of them.
Yeah, they're good kids.
How about you?
I don't have a story, and I think that's okay, right?
Okay, huh?
Right?
Yeah. Let's talk about, words of affirmation. So words of affirmation is when you, the listener, on Anchor preferably, calls in and really just press a little voice message memo and just says something nice and kind about the podcast, what it's teaching, what it's helping you walk through. And we really appreciate these things because it gives us a little bit of motivation to keep on keeping on. So,
can I add something?
yeah, sure.
So Instagram has this new feature when you go to the DM part where you can actually record an audio message. So if you don't follow us on Anchor, but you follow us on one of the other apps, then please feel free to use the DM Instagram. Like, DM us on our Instagram account, How Married Are You? And just send us a voice memo there. We'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, and with that being said, here are the words of affirmation.
What we're gonna do right here is go back.
Hey guys, this is Ty Shan from Dallas, Texas. I'm having a small marathon listening to y'all's podcast, and I just want to say I just really appreciate everything y'all share. It's like definitely challenged my thoughts.
And you don't stop to the beat, y'all. And you don't stop. A freak, y'all. And you don't stop to the beat, y'all. And you don't stop. A freak.
And my perspective on marriage. And sometimes I feel like I'm talking to my phone if I agree or disagree with things y'all say. But I think this is a very strong podcast to show a strong marriage, a strong black marriage at that. And I definitely love the Chocolate Baby segment. It's a favorite of mine. Keep up the good work. And I really appreciate what y'all are doing.
So big shout out to Ty Shan.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for giving us those words of affirmation. We appreciate it. And we're going to talk today. Our big topic, is why you should have kids nowadays, 2019, 2018. Why
we're going to tell them why they should have kids, or we're going to say why we choose to have kids.
You know, the more I'm thinking about
Oh, shoot.
it, okay. So we were listening to this
Excuse me.
podcast, a fellow podcast duo,
Husband and wife.
husband and wife, the Beast Cast. Shout out to the Beast Cast. Halise, Chris, very good friends of mine. And they are just really cool people. And last time we were together in DC, we talked a little bit about having kids, and they were kind of reserved. But then I listened to the podcast, and they went in.
They didn't sugarcoat their feelings.
They
at
did.
all.
They just went. They just were shooting. Boom, 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 boom. And the first part of the podcast, we started listening to it, and we were so taken aback that we stopped.
I couldn't listen, y'all.
Yeah, it was like Yvette was like,
I was offended.
she was like,
Was
what?
I offended? I
Yeah.
don't know.
You were offended.
I was offended.
I knew some people that said, I mean, I asked them because we were,
Yeah, the conversation
Wondering this.
came up and it was like appropriate for it to be come up.
why would you want a kid?
Yeah.
And they said something along the lines of, well, you know, you just feel that love and you just kind of want, like, you feel like you have too much love and that you can just keep giving that love or something. Which just kind of sounded like, just get a dog, just get another dog.
Yeah, get another dog or volunteer or there's just so many other things. I don't know.
100%. You were offended, and I want to like go ahead and you guys should definitely listen to it because it's one of those things, that just kind of like, man, like people really think like this, But after getting through the second half, I kind of felt more like I was kind of filled in on their situation, but at the same time,
Definitely give it a complete listen.
yeah. Yeah, like
You
it's
still
hard to
will
get through.
cringe.
Yeah, it's look. I mean, especially if you have kids, you'll cringe. But if you're having a hard time with your kids, or if you're having like a hard time, like figuring this whole parenting thing out, I'm sure that it will speak to you. So, what is a good reason? After everything that we've been through right now, with the 3 kids we have,
I just want to say, like, I think that's people, like, there's issue. Is that even a properly formed sentence? I'm sorry if it's not. But, like, I feel like we as parents don't always do a good job of painting parenthood in a good light. The other day, I actually went through my Instagram feed and was just reading my captions, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm kind of a depressed mom. Like, I feel like I'm very honest with what I'm experiencing and how I'm feeling with being a mother. But it's still kind of like, whoa, I don't know if people are encouraged or turned off from reading my captions. And I was listening to them, especially in the second half where they talk about it. And I'm like, I got to do a better job making parenthood look glamorous. But then the other thing is, I think there are also those people on Instagram that make parenthood look so glamorous that make the rest of us feel inadequate and like we're not actually doing a good job.
and that's what I see mostly.
Yeah, and that's what I see a lot of too. So maybe I'm just counteracting that. But like, I love being a mom. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So anyways, I was saying that to say, because you kind of just said
Everything we've
been through.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel, and that is a bonus. With me. Like honestly, sometimes it's not that great. It's a little overrated. And so, like, what are the benefits? Like, I think about that. Like, well, everyone's talking about it's like a burden. You can't do anything. So what's the point? And people really do have a good point when they ask this question. And I think about legacy, right? To train a child, to teach someone how to be human, takes a lot of time, patience, sacrifice. But it's like the best thing you can give to the world is a person who can do good and who can think and bless the world. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't do a good job, they can still turn out to be amazing, And I think that's the real reward is being able to, hit the mark. You know what I'm saying? Like release these kids into the world, society, and they inspire, they change minds, they create things, they solve problems, they become like part of the medicine, and the good in the world. And that was kind of like the thing that always stood out to me about being a father, is that like you really can have such an amazing person, because of your investment in this person. So many good things can come out of it. Now there's a whole opposite side where it's like you can try your hardest and then, nothing good, well, seemingly, these kids can become disasters, complete disasters. But I think the conversation that the Beastcast was having was that it was mostly based around convenience.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my issue. We talk about, what is convenient and what is not convenient, right? What's the convenience of being married? Okay.
No. I had an answer. I was just trying to get this hang lip.
What?
I was trying to bite it off.
Come on.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I think, I don't know, the convenience, there's so much. I don't even know if it's like, if this first answer is an answer of convenience, but you're just not alone. Like, you have someone to process through things with. I think about Glen, and like the other day I had to go to the doctor to see my midwife by myself, and she was asking me all these questions, and I was like, man, Glen would know the answer to these questions. He just knows. He pays attention. He's on the outside, like, taking notes. Even when I don't think he's paying attention, he just knows. So there's like that added.
But where was I?
You were taking care of
One
the
of the
kids.
So that's a plus for marriage and a minus for kids. Let's keep going.
So I just think this like thing of not being alone, and even when before kids, like just knowing I get to come home and be with Glen, knowing there's a warm body to like, snuggle up with when I go to bed, like sharing the responsibility of cooking, cleaning, taking care of our income, just, I don't know, someone who's like-minded most of the time.
Yeah.
We have some differences.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of differences, but
We have
like
a lot of
we're
where it matters, we're like-minded.
yeah, but I don't even want to be with someone who's completely like-minded.
Yeah.
We
challenge each other.
What's the convenience then if we're talking about, because kids really don't do anything for you in the beginning. They
Actually, though,
okay.
the baby.
What about the
Oh
baby?
my gosh, the little baby.
What about it?
They're just so cuddly, and then they're just so cuddly.
I don't really get any of
They
that.
give me like, there's something I get, which I know that not all women get because of postpartum depression, but there is like this feeling of like, dude, you're mine. You came from my body. For me, there's like a feeling of accomplishment and pride and joy. And then there's also like the whole, that she just spit up on me. Oh my gosh, they're just draining my body. There's like that too, but there's still like when they are first born, they do like.
They fill a void. I think for women it's easier for that. I think for me as a father, I've never had. I think with Theo, it was like, oh my gosh, this is it. You know what I'm saying? But then after that, it just was kind of like, yeah, this ain't really doing it for me. It was
I think
like,
you had something with Anaya, but
kinda. No, because I had the boys, and she was like really invested in you, and so now her and I have a really good relationship. But in the beginning, I don't think that they do much for you until now. This is the craziest thing. It's like, of course they don't do anything for you because they can't actually do anything. Mr. Halis from the Beastcast was talking about how, like, if you have a kid, 2 years, the kid is just becoming self-sufficient, kinda, and now they can open up doors and do things like that. But a dog at 2 months, they can be pretty much self-sufficient. And the thing is, it's not so much what they can do for you, it's what they can teach you. I'm learning way more.
Yeah.
I'm learning way more about life. I'm learning way more about life.
God's love for us.
God's love for us, my ability to understand what's
Yeah.
most important. Like for instance, like the kids don't care about who the president of the United States is. That is a adult thing. You know what I'm saying? Now I know like who the president is affects a lot, but the kids care mostly about who's governing the house and are you in control of what's happening in our household. Because they may not be and they don't understand what happens outside the house, but they know how you react to certain things. So they tell me what's most important. They tell me, like when I'm teaching them things, like I've noticed how much they trust me and they're obedient to me more so than I'm obedient to God. It blows my mind how much I learn as a father. And so I feel like you can only understand certain things about life until you become a parent.
Yeah.
Like, because parenting teaches you more about yourself and allows you to grow than not being a parent.
Yeah.
That's really what I've noticed. It's like, oh, I'm actually able to understand more about even the type of son I am, about the type of husband I am, because it's easy to love a kid, you know, because they're like fresh and new, but to love, you know, grown-ups and people who have done you wrong and issues where you may have unforgiveness and stuff like that, it's like, yo, like you have so much area of growth. And I think that I'm going to be, you know, a better man because I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? So that's the real takeaway for me when I listen to that, because I see people like, yeah, man, I don't want to have kids. I have people in my life that are like, yo, yeah, man, I'm never going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to just be out here, you know? And I'm like, man. And I know some people have kids so that they're taken care of, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, so that when they get old, they have someone to take care of them, you know? But I don't think you should be forced to have kids, especially if you're not ready or you don't think you're mature enough for it. But, you know, you don't really know what you're ready for until you try it. You know, and that's just not like hey, go ahead and have a baby. But I'm just saying, like, you know, a lot of people didn't think they were ready for marriage or to go to college or whatever the situation is until you actually get there and you're like, okay, I just have to kind of step into this. I'd rather have like a planned child in a safe, like in a marriage, instead of having like kind of a co-parent situation. I know all of us, it doesn't work out that way with all of us, but
Yeah.
if I had a preference, you know, it would be that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I honestly see a lot of people's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm too selfish. People say I'm too selfish, or I like my life, or I want to be able to go where I want to go. I don't, you know, and I don't disagree with that. You know, I think there's a period of time to be able to do that for yourself, but then it's better to teach someone else how to do that, how to make money, how to work with their hands, how to think, how to be in relationships. Like, it's better to pass that stuff on, you know what I mean? And you build a legacy, you know? I don't know.
I feel like even when I got married, I realized how selfish I was. Like, it didn't take children, but when you have children, you definitely realize how even more selfish you are.
But like when you have kids and then you're married, it shows you how like easy it is to favor the kids over the spouse, you know? Yeah. Anaya screaming, Papa Elmo.
This is our first time. Is this our first time? This is our first time recording while the kids are awake.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if you do follow me on Instagram, I actually don't think that I'm going to stop being honest about my experience as a mom. But I do hope that you get to see, like, that I also enjoy motherhood and that I find it to be a blessing. And to be completely honest, we're pregnant with number 4, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed, but I still have this thought of number 5 in my head. God. And I know Glen doesn't want another.
No. I'm not having another child.
Exactly. I said, that's what I was saying.
You said Glen doesn't want I'm telling you that it's not an option. If you get pregnant, then you cheated. We have to have a whole nother discussion. I'm not having a 5th child. I promise you. Lord, you think I'm playing? Woo! I'm not playing. I'm not.
I don't think you're playing. I think you're so serious.
What are you talking about number 5 for then?
I was just saying, like, even though I'm pregnant with number 4, like, this baby has not arrived, there's still this thought in my head that there could be a number 5. Even if you don't want a number 5, the Lord works in mysterious ways. I could be the Virgin Mary. I mean, I'm not a virgin anymore, but...
You definitely ain't nothing like it.
Wait, what? But I don't know, whatever. That's neither here nor there. My point is, I can still see myself having more children.
Do you think...
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You know what's crazy is I think about Pat and Shan, and I'm like, I know they didn't plan to have a 7th child. Their oldest child is 20, and their youngest child is in the womb. And I know that they weren't planning on having another child, but I'm just like, the Lord has seen the fruit of her womb, and he's like, I'm just gonna put one more in there. And
see, I don't want to blame the Lord for that. That's Pat and Shan's fault. No. First of all, we can't just be like the Lord. Like,
no, but
nah.
I'm just saying, like, the Lord allows things to happen. He does.
Sure, but that's because, and here's another argument here. Just because the Lord allows you to make babies, that doesn't mean you should have many. Now, I'm not saying anything against Pat and Shan. They're great parents. You know what I'm saying? But we are not Pat and Shan.
No, for sure.
I believe in my full heart of hearts that we will not be able to survive with another child after the 4th. As a working family,
excuse me,
like, I'm gonna have to become more of a helpmate. Like, I'm gonna have to be a part-time worker and more of a father. You know what I'm saying? I think. You agree?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think our marriage...
Things may have to look different. We may not be able to homeschool
and this is why
every single child.
And this is why I'm kind of like, man, that selfishness is kicking in. Because I honestly, like, I want to be able to sustain and afford and help the people that we have under us right now. And I feel like if we keep adding more to the equation, the conversations with Theo are going to get harder. The conversations with Raya is going to get harder. Anaya, I'm going to be missing time. I'm going to be missing time with you. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really, really hard. And, you know, I talk to people about how they manage, people with over 7 kids, over 6 or 7 kids. And I'm like, yo, how do you manage? And they're like, oh, well, you know, I just find time to pray for them. And I'm like, well, what about like one-on-one time? You know what I'm saying? And I know that's kind of like, well, that's not really realistic. And I don't want that to not be a reality, because my main value is that, yo, like, the way that God is present for me and he makes himself available for me, I'm not omnipresent. I need to honestly, like, set out time and schedule time to spend with my children, you know, to spend with you, you know. When's the last time we had a date? When we got the BMW. When's the last time before that?
That was the last time you had a date?
Yeah. We could count on our hands how many dates we've had this year.
Really?
Yeah. That someone watched the kids and we actually went out and did something?
Yeah. I was just trying to say, Glen just heard 5th child and went and lost it. But all I was trying to say is I just love my kids. And no matter how much they get on my nerves, because they do get on my nerves, they also, I don't know, they just add so much more life to life. I feel like I enjoy life more because of them. I feel like I'm more intentional about making memories and doing things because I have them, and I want their childhood to be full of experiences and life and love and happiness and joy. And so
I think you're an amazing mom.
thanks,
And
babe.
I would have loved for you to be my mom. Like, real talk. You are an amazing mom, intentional, seeks fun, always looking out for the best interest of your kids. I agree with all that.
Thank you. That actually is good to hear because they don't tell you that, guys.
Yeah. And
They
so
do not tell you that you are an amazing mom. And he's an amazing father. Like, I will say that too, man. Like, if you're married and you guys, you enjoy the marriage or whatever, and then you bring children into the union, it's just such an amazing evolution that happens in the other person. Like, watching Glenn become a dad has been beautiful. He's even more attractive to me because of who he is as a father. But anywho,
but this is the thing though. Like, it's not for everybody.
it is not for everybody.
And it can actually be worse. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, some people are like, yeah, it makes you a better person, and it makes people a worse person. Like, some people don't know how to deal with a child that will not stop crying over and over again,
Yeah.
just screaming. It tests your patience. You can see, I understand why some parents go crazy. Like, just like, I gotta go. I'm out. I can't do this no more. Like, I understand why parents do that. Because, like, I realized, like, oh, I need to walk away. Now I need to leave you in the crib, let you cry because I can't sit here and do this because I'm having like emotional issues, and so I understand why other people do that.
And sometimes you realize how immature you are.
Yeah,
Sometimes I be talking to Theo and I just want to go in on him. Sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, he's a child. He doesn't really understand what's happening here. But it's like, you want to call him names like butthead. And
Yeah,
and sometimes I do.
yeah. Sometimes
And
he'll be
now
like,
my
"Mom, I don't
children-
like it." He goes, "Mom, I don't like it."
Now put me on blast now.
You
But
put yourself
Glenn
on
be
blast.
No, you don't even
I'll be
get me
calling the
started.
kids all types of names.
But Glenn's smart about it. He doesn't use the same name more than once. There's
Yeah.
only one that he's been very consistent with. What is it? I can't think of it right now.
Turd burglar.
Turd burglar.
Because they always taking my ish. Turd burglar.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's just, parenthood is awesome. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I look forward to being an empty nester sometimes. And I look forward to being a grandparent because my parents make it look like it is all there is to be.
But you know what's crazy? And this is going to be a total mind thing, right? What would I do for a living if I didn't have children?
Wow. You'd be a rapper.
But how good of a rapper would I be? Because they really pushed me to like get over my fear of being on stage and like going to get it. Like, I think I would be a very like they taught me how to be a man. Like, not my dad, my children. That's insane. So I'm like the growth that has happened in me as a man because as a result of my children, like it's like you're looking at like the definition of like who I am. If they're not here, I'm not. So take everything that you see and minus it. Like everything that I have accomplished, everything that I've done, like all of it's like, oh yeah, fatherhood. Like I'm a dad. Like I have the heart of a father. Like that is who I am.
I mean, but even like when we had Theo and Glenn, because Glenn, when I first met Glenn, he was at the church. He was leading a small group of young men, high school age. And I remember when Glenn stopped doing that for a season when we got married. And I remember when Glenn shared with some of those gentlemen that he was having his first child and it was a boy. And they were like,
They're freaking out.
they were like, oh my gosh, that kid is so lucky to have you as a father. And so
They were like, yo, we only had you for like a couple years. They're gonna have you since birth. That's gonna be crazy.
And that, it even gives me goosebumps now, but I'm just like, yeah, he's pretty awesome. And even still, like, if you do take away the kids, there are still so many people that you have a father's heart toward.
Yeah, for sure.
And that receive that from you. And so, I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily think it would all be gone, but I understand what you're saying.
A big chunk of it would be gone. Like a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it. And that's not to say, oh yeah, so what you got to do is exploit your kids. So you can, you know what I'm saying? Definitely
We're not. Why would you say
No,
exploit?
but, you
That's
know,
not a good word.
People may think that. You know what I'm saying? But like this is what I'm saying is like
Whatever.
you put yourself in a position to where you allow yourself to grow to different levels, you know?
Yeah.
You only, like, I don't know what Yvette's like in the desert. You know what I'm saying? I know what she's like in California. You know what I mean? But certain seasons, certain places changes who you are. So you become a different person. Like, I become a different person because I am a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this season.
Yeah.
And had we been in a whole nother season or in a whole nother place, I would be a different person. And so you are very much a product of your environment. I feel very blessed to have had met Theo, because Theo has, you know, he's pushed me in ways I can't imagine, you know, and in Yvette, like all the combination of all the pieces, you know what I mean? That's why, like, it's important. We'll talk about this in another episode, about getting therapy and, you know, going through your mental health process, because, like, I have a lot at risk. You know, if I go crazy, there's a lot we lose. There's a lot that the world loses, I feel, you know?
Yeah.
And not to say that I'm like this big thing, but I feel like I will have a piece where people be like, man, like, this guy changed my life and changed my perspective on fatherhood in this way. And so, like, think about the potential. If you allow yourself to be present and learn from your children, like how much respect you have for them as people, how much respect you have for parents and human life just altogether. And you allow that to manifest in different ways, and you allow yourself to be inspired by your children. Because children are only a burden if you treat them like it.
Yeah.
And if you expect them to be. I think for my final thoughts, I would like to say that you just never know the potential of a child, right? Like, look at Jesus, right? He was born, you know, conceived out of wedlock. Like, everything could have went wrong for that dude, you know what I mean? And, like, the potential of a child, that he would be this king of the world. And, like, even me, like, I'm not going to get into all the specifics because, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't want to, like, embarrass anybody. But, you know, like, there was options not to have me as well. Like, I was a total inconvenience, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like, I'm not trying to make myself seem like I'm a great person, but I honestly have like big plans, and I want to do great things for the world, but no one would have expected me to do that being from where I'm from. And the same thing about you and your situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may even be down now, like, dang, like, I don't think I'm going to do anything with my life, or just having like a low depressed moment, but you just don't know the potential of you keeping on and trying and allowing different people and circumstances to change you and to mold you and to teach you. And so I just wouldn't want to give up on the possibilities of who you could become, you know, if you allow parenting to be a part of your process. But with that being said, if you aren't like a parent, you know what I'm saying? And you like, I don't even know how you figure that out. But like, if you don't want to have kids, like, don't force yourself because it's cute or convenient, or your role models are having kids, or we make it look
Or
easy.
because it's like the next steps.
Yeah, or like, for real, like, like you say you want to like celebrate motherhood and you want to be honest, but I'm all honesty, right? And I'm mostly on the bad side. I'm mostly kind of like, look, man, you cute and all that, but you better pick up these daggone Cheerios you spilled all over the floor, Naya. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cute and all that, but your poop stink. Like, you cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cool. I love this conversation we're having, but it's really, and it's a lot of this stuff is like, dang, like, when I sit back and I have my moments, I'm kind of like, man, what did I learn? What did I learn this week, or what did I learn today? And I think my next video before we close out the year is I'll do a video on like everything that fatherhood taught me in 2018. But yeah, you just don't know the potential of a child.
Yeah. I can't imagine life without you being in it. Like, what if you weren't born?
Damn, that'd be crazy. I think you would have found you would.
But I'm just saying, there would just like, that's a very sad thought. I'm so glad you were born.
But then like having all these spouts with like suicide
Yeah.
and depression.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like oh, now that I've like kind of survived all this stuff and have been like, you know, seeking help about this stuff, like, I feel like, oh, I understand why the enemy wanted to take me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I could really do damage, you know? And someone was hit me up there like, yo, if you want to feel better, like, drop the Christianity thing because you don't believe in it. But I was like, yo, like, Christianity, right? Forget Christianity. Like, Jesus is literally the purpose behind all of this. So if you take Jesus out of the equation, all this stuff becomes a very selfish gain and all about making money and like making myself look like I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it's about at all. It's
Yeah.
about like helping people. I really want to help people. But anyway, we're not going to go off on that tangent.
All right, babe. How married are you? Oh my gosh, I feel like now that I'm pregnant, his how married are you or answers are gonna be whack. But go ahead.
What you mean whack? They're going to be good. They're
You're
always
gonna
good.
exploit me.
I'm not going to exploit you. The other day when you came in the room, and I hope you grease your scalp. Put the oil in the scalp. Drip, 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 drip. But my service is high at this point. And it could be higher. I could be doing better. But
The more kids you have, the
less service
the
you
less
get.
service you get
All
during
right?
pregnancy.
It's tax.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a universal truth. Some dudes are probably on it like crazy.
You think so?
You know what's crazy about me? The worst part about me
What's the worst part about you, babe?
is that I'm gonna complain the whole time I'm doing it. I didn't complain while I greased your scalp, but
You
like
did not.
it was a lot of stuff like yesterday when you asked me to go to Lamppost to get you a pizza.
I really asked you to go to Cinnabon. Lamppost was like a 5th choice.
How far is Cinnabon away from me? It's like 27 miles, 30 miles.
Okay,
maybe.
we don't really need to talk about this.
Anyway, I go get the Lamppost, and the whole time I'm kind of like, man, like she could have ordered this a long time ago. If you knew you wanted Lamppost pizza.
I didn't want Lamppost pizza. I wanted a Cinnabon. Lamppost pizza was a last resort.
And you know, like, and this is why, like, when your wife is pregnant, those two things don't even go together. Like a pizza and a Cinnabon are like totally different tastes. But she just wanted something warm. So it's like you can't anticipate what she's going to.
It's not totally different because my pizza had pineapple on it and it was warm. So the pineapple is what was doing it for me. Do you get it? And the bread and pineapple, it makes sense in my head.
How married are you?
I really don't know. I don't have good ones.
Anything you do, babe.
Anything I do?
What have you done for me lately?
I'm so married that we said we weren't getting each other Christmas gifts, and this fool went and got me a Christmas gift. But I followed through with what we said.
You kept your word. You didn't lie.
And the crazy thing is, I was like, babe, I even said to you, like, I don't know if it was the day before or a couple of days before, I was like, babe, I'm not getting you anything. You're not getting me anything, right, babe? Don't do that. And he said, no, I'm not.
But it was already ordered.
But you could have told me. You could have been like, yeah, I did get you something. And then I would have tried. And the truth is, who was I talking to? Oh, Jasmine and Walter. I was talking to them on Sunday because I didn't have the kids and I was by myself. And I was like, I really want to try to figure out something to get Glenn. But I just can't think of anything. I wanted to go shopping.
Yeah.
Because I'm
really hard to shop for. I'm a hard person to be married to.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to just do a lame gift card. Because he'll let the gift card sit for 15 years.
No, that's only because it was an H&M gift card.
No, I'm not.
Mom got me.
Well, no, I'm not talking about H&M. I know better than to do that. You know, I don't know. But that's how married I am. And that's just how married we are.